All right, so listen, check it. It's absolutely a crime that I didn't know about this plugin. I don't know how long this has been out, probably a while. Now, I have seen plugins like this before, something from Waves that I used to use, um, which let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's get a screenshot of it real quick. Okay, so this thing right here is what I used to sometimes use, and I don't know if I got the best results ever with. I never got the type of results that I'm able to get with tonal balance with this thing. Um, but I just wanted to get on here to just say, dude, I feel like I've been cheated. I literally feel like I've been cheated. Like it's a crime to not know how good tonal balance is. It's literally a crime to not use this plugin unless you have, I don't know, something else that does just as good as this. Like, dude, if I would have known, like when I first started mixing music, if I would have known that something like tonal balance control was all I needed to do to get my mix to sound professional, like all these years, I never realized that it was the balance of the frequency spectrum that was making the sound so pleasing. I knew that was a part of it, but I didn't realize just how important this was. And I literally feel so dumb because I just feel dumb, but I feel cheated. Man. Like, all right. A lot of people they talk about EQ, they talk about compression, all that's good, saturation, filtering, using your delay. Yeah, I mean you need to know how to do all of that stuff. But man, I don't think anything is more important than understanding how your track needs to be in balance because when your track is in balance like this, everything sounds so much better. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you didn't necessarily have the best vocal chain, if you have a decent vocal chain, you know, if you're decent at mixing a vocal and you got your de-essing on there, you've taken out frequencies and things that in your mix that you don't like. Beyond that, this is what you need to put on your mix bus. Put this tonal balance thing on your mix bus, and if these white lines are inside the green, now this is the beginning of the song. I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe some people are that technical where the whole entire song it has to be perfect, but like once my song really gets going, you can see that the white lines are all inside the green. And so at a certain point in my mix, that wasn't the case. You know, a lot of times my bass will be up here. Usually the mids are down here, and usually the high is either it's too high or it's like not even in the green at all. So I'm able to look at this to kind of help guide me on what needs to be adjusted. And then I go, like, if I see in the mid range, like as I'm mixing the beat that is dropped out here, then it's like, oh, okay, well, my hi-hat and my snare could be eating up a little bit of this section. A lot of my synthesizers and stuff are probably eating up this section. Maybe even some of my kick and my bass are eating up a little of this, but mostly my kick and my bass are taking place down here. It just helps me to really figure out, you know what I'm saying, like what part of my mix I need to go screw with. Like if stuff is too low, then I'll just like jump on Spectre and boost it up right here. What is this right here? This is probably, what is this, the drum bus or something? What's this red section? Yeah, that's the drum bus. On the drum bus, it was like probably dipping down a little bit. And it's part of this might have just been for flavor and taste, like just what I wanted to get out the mix. But see what I'm saying? Like this this is a whole nother plugin to talk about right here. But using this tonal balance thing, dude, there's no reason for you not to have this. Like if I was teaching a mixing course and I legitimately wanted my students to excel and I didn't just want to keep them in an endless loop of thinking that, oh, you just need to get better with compression and EQ, or you just need to develop your ears, or you just need to practice. Yeah, all of that is true, but fundamentally, I don't think anything is more important in mixing than subtractive EQ, balancing your levels, and then thirdly, getting a frequency balance across the frequency spectrum. As you can see, it shows you the low ends down here from 40 to 200, the low mids from 400 to 2000, and 2000 to 8000, the high mids, and then the highs from like 10K and up. And it's like, when your track is outside of this, you're like feeling something's missing in the mix. You know how many times I used to sit up there, like for years I went through this process of like every now and then I would kind of get lucky and my mixes would sound good before I had anything like this, right? And I would always be sitting up comparing my music to some of my favorite artists, and I would just be like, how are they doing it? Like, what plugin do they have? What piece of gear do they have? What are they using that I'm not using? Bruh, their engineers are balancing out the frequency spectrum. That's all they're doing, dude. And it's not that certain pieces of gear can't give you spice and sizzle and flavor, because they do. You know what I'm saying? Certain plugins like that Spectre plugin I pulled up, like I don't know what I would do without that plugin at this point. Now that I started using it, it's like a month or some change ago. That plugin is crazy. But a lot of it is just you balancing your track well, knowing how to EQ out, maybe how to EQ out stuff on the low end to clear that up, and then creating a little separation between different sounds, and then just balancing it all by, okay, if this is too high, okay, well, something in my high mids needs to come down. Is it a volume change? No, I like the volume. Okay, so it's probably an EQ issue. Let's go see where we can make some cuts tastefully while monitoring this section right here. And once your song is in balance, it's a battle between what your taste is and what you like, and then using this as a reference point. And then of course you also have your reference track. But I believe something like this is even more important than your reference track. I believe I can get a good mix by only listening to my reference tracks. I maybe check my reference tracks like 3 or 4 times, as opposed to this thing. I'm checking this thing like 100 times as I'm mixing, and it's helping me to get a far better sounding mix than what I've ever gotten without it. And it's just like, dude, I could have been at the level I'm at now, like almost 10 years ago, if I would have had this plugin right here. That's how vitally important I feel like this plugin is. Like, this plugin, bro, it's crazy, dude. If you don't have this plugin, do yourself a favor. I don't even think this costed me. I had it in my arsenal probably for a couple months, and I really had came back to it a couple times, and then something told me, man, just really pay attention to it, you know? And when I did, I was blown away at just the results that, like, every song that I've mixed and made sure that it fit within these parameters has it, like, I'm almost in tears listening to my music. Like, I feel like my songs have literally gone from here to here. Like, it's crazy. It's really that crazy, you know. Big soldier for you, God. Yep, might as well be a Marine. Hey, pick me up, God. Put me where you. Now watch me. I'm gonna unbalance it on purpose just to show you how much of a difference it makes when it's not in balance. Like, I'm pretty sure that threw it off. Let's go even more dramatic. Let's throw it off even more. So I'm not the same. Used to willfully live in sin, but now I change. I ain't perfect, but my service. I can take that out and it's still balanced. That's crazy. My soul worth way more than gold. Get behind me, and what God defines. That actually don't sound bad with a little bit of that out there. Out of my control, cause the Lord is the one that reigns. As I bow before Jesus to tell you that it can change.
You'll never be the same. You don't have to live in shame, cause the Lord will help you change. For the things that you did wrong,
let's
you don't have
maybe
to
do it on
play
the
a
drums or
game. You
something.
can tell him everything. You can talk to him at night. Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, rain.
It's funny, usually you're struggling to get it in balance, and I'm struggling to get it out of balance. It's crazy.
6-0, we gon' kill the beast. Team Jesus to the end, we don't see defeat. Reap everything we sow, so we sow the seeds. Rain, Holy Spirit, rain.
And you gotta understand, most of the mixing on the beat that I did, which makes up most of the balance in my opinion, was done in another DAW, so I can't really mess it up as bad as I want to. What are the, oh, it's over here.
The devil tried to make me a deal, but I said peace. My soul worth way more than gold, get behind me. And what God defines me as a child, assign me out of my control, cause the Lord is the one that reigns. As I bow before Jesus.
I mean, that's a like extreme example where the vocal is even like retarded, but you could clearly see.
Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, rain. Holy Spirit, rain. So I'm not the same. Used to
Bro,
willfully
like,
live in sin, but now I changed.
if you're not using that plugin, I don't even know how you could even get your stuff in balance. Like, I need that plugin to. I can't totally do that with my ears. Like, I need that visual reference, you know. And I don't know if any of y'all could, but like, man, do yourself a favor and go ahead and get that.